It all started now. This day's a turning point in my life. The day I begin living my life from the inside out. And I am transformed. I am transformed. Transform my life. Has took my first step.
Hi, my name is Mirkovich, and I'm your host for Family Today. This show is for everyone. It's for parents, grandparents, and young adults. Today, I have a great guest. She's a health coach, and she just completed a lecture here in Cresskill, New Jersey, and she will share more about how to kick the habit of sugar. And here she is, Stacy. Welcome, Stacy. Welcome to Family Today.
Thank you. I'm Stacy Budkowski. I'm a certified health coach and juice specialist. And I just completed a lecture about how to kick sugar out of your life without losing sweetness. So there are some important factors when you're trying to do this. I don't know if you want to ask questions or you're...
Yes, I do, but you go ahead and maybe you could give us some tips of how you overcame the sugar habit. What did you have any hurdles to overcome when you decided to go about this, kicking the sugar habit?
So once I decided to live a healthier lifestyle, I identified that sugar is a key component of doing that and eliminating sugar or reducing your sugar intake drastically. Too much sugar can lead to being overweight and obesity. It's also a risk factor if you eat too much sugar for diabetes, heart disease. It fuels cancer as well. So once I realized all of these things, I really tried to cut back on my sugar intake. And doing that is sometimes a challenge because sugar is in so many foods that we eat and so many things that we buy from the stores. So you really have to be a more educated consumer and an educated shopper. And by doing that, you need to be able to read food labels and understand the nutrition facts and look for the sugar, the added sugar and the total sugar on food labels. And then also read the ingredients and see what's really in the foods that you're eating. So many foods that we consume these days have sugar or honey or maple syrup, and some of those sugars are artificial sugars, or corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. Those are big buzzwords that come out a lot in the news and the media when you're talking about health and healthy foods. So being aware of the ingredients that are in your foods and trying to cut back on those sugar grams is key.
So how did you turn your life around with this? What was the key point? How you turned it around?
Well,
what was it for you?
For me, I took small steps in making changes throughout my entire lifestyle. So I started to read food labels, and I started
So what motivated you?
About 10 years ago, I unfortunately lost my mother to breast cancer. And she was young, she was in her 60s, and when I realized that I didn't want that to be me, I didn't want that to happen to me, I knew I needed to make some changes. I was about 25 pounds heavier than I am now, and I'm not a tall or big person to be able to carry that 25 pounds. So when I realized that I needed to make some changes, I took small steps to improve my health and improve my life, and sugar was a major component of that.
Okay. So that one day that you got up in the morning and said, this is it, I'm gonna do it. How did you do that? Because for people out there, they're struggling with that. They know what's good for them, but they ordinarily don't do those good things that are good for them. And you could attest to that, right?
Yes,
As
absolutely.
a life coach.
Absolutely.
Or health coach.
So you need to have that motivation. That's the first thing. Something needs to inspire you, to click within you and just say, okay, I'm done with this and I need to make some changes. And then, starting small, again, taking small steps, starting with one thing and making changes to that one thing until you reach your goal. Setting a goal, making a plan, giving yourself a time frame within which to do that, and then identifying the small things that you'd like to tackle.
There was a woman in the room where you taught, and she asked you about the time limit. She said something to the effect of 3 days, and she asked you, and you responded because your speaking was so excellent.
So she was talking about the physical aspects
Yes.
of sort of withdrawal from certain things.
Yes.
So it depends
what
on,
that was.
everybody's
Yes.
body is different.
Mhm.
So it depends on how much sugar you're eating
Mhm.
on a daily basis and how, that will determine how long it's going to take you to sort of
Sure.
withdraw or detox or be able to eliminate
Mhm.
it completely. Because again, you don't wanna do it, cold turkey. You
Right.
want to sort of give yourself goals, little goals along the way until you can really eliminate or reduce, your sugar
So
intake.
there is a withdrawal with this. Sugar is a big withdrawal if you take it out of your life. I mean, you said baby steps, which is
Mhm.
smart. I could identify with that and understand that. But for some people, it could be cold turkey, you said?
Mhm.
Just like a drug. Is that true?
Right, well, there have been some studies that show that sugar
Studies.
can be addictive.
Okay.
And that when you do consume sugar, it lights up the same portions of your brain that cocaine does.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it can be something that, can be addictive.
Okay.
But the good news is that you can overcome this addiction
Mhm.
by, again, taking those small steps to reduce and eliminate the sugar in small ways. And some ways you don't even know that you're eating it. So by reading food labels and being aware of
Mhm.
how much sugar you're putting in will be a key to your success in
Mhm.
overcoming your addiction to sugar
Yes,
or
yes,
reducing your
yes.
sugar intake.
So what would be your last tip for the family today? What would be your greatest aspiration for families out there? What would you say to them?
What I would say to them is sugar is really something that can be very detrimental for your health in so many different ways. And a lot of people don't realize until they eliminate sugar how good they can feel and how bad sugar makes them feel. So being an educated consumer and being aware of what's out there and what it can do to you is key to being able to focus on the goal of eliminating and reducing your sugar intake. It's so important for families, especially as a parent, to teach your children proper nutrition. And when you're eating foods that have a lot of sugar in it, they tend to not have the nutritional value that you really want to be getting out of your
Talking
food.
about the kids, you need to discipline them into that because
Mhm.
they want what they want and they want it now.
Right,
So you gotta go through that. See, there is work towards this.
absolutely.
A lot
And
of
we as parents need to serve as role models for our
Mhm.
children and really teach them. They don't know,
They
and
don't know.
they only know what we teach them and what we give them. So,
And they are taught by example.
right, and so
Yeah.
making those good choices ourselves will
Mhm.
help to lead them in the right direction.
Lead them in the right direction. And with that, I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Come to my
Appreciate it.
program, and we will talk further for the next segment. Thank you.
Thank
You, dear viewers.
Thank you.
It all started now. This day's a turn.